Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the middle children of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition classes. All right, so I have 4 kids, and I can tell you right now, it's rough being a middle kid, right? The firstborn gets a lot of attention because they're the firstborn. The lastborn gets a lot of attention because they're the little one, right? Like, the human puppy, right? And the people in the middle, they kind of get the short end of the stick a lot. Right, it's just the thing. We're broken as humans. It's just the thing. So we do everything we can to, I got 4 kids, so I got 2 middle ones. So we do everything we can to just, put a little bit more shine on them, just to make things even out. Because if you don't focus on it, it doesn't happen, and it can be hard in that position, right? So today I want to talk about the middle children of the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition classes. So first of all, who are the firstborns? Well, the firstborns are the core 4. Everybody knows them, right? Fighter, wizard, rogue, cleric. These are the firstborns, and the reason why is if you are missing one of them, you ain't playing D&D, period. End of sentence, right? You pull one of those, every single one of them is a load-bearing wall, and there are tables who will not roll dice until they have every roll filled, right? That's how important they are, right? And even like if you're kind of DM who's like, oh, you run whatever you want, you still are like, oh, you got no cleric? Well, you're going to be a lot of good berries around, and I'm going to make sure you can get potions when you get into the next down, right? Like, you got to manage all of it, right? Rogues take care of traps, fighters drop enemies, wizards do the weird stuff, right? And clerics get everybody back up, right? And you really are not playing D&D without them. But who are the middle children? Well, just so I remember them all. A singing bear smiting Aragorn. Let's go. All right, that's just my mnemonic. Singing bards. Why are bards in the middle classes, right? Why are they the middle children? Well, they certainly they are not the last. Bards are incredibly unique, right? They're like, when you say bard, there ain't nobody like them. These are, essentially fighting thespians. These are singers and performers. They are truly unique, which means they escape the last tier, right? And actually, I'm using the children analogy here, but like, tell the truth, nobody really likes the last tier, the last 4, the bottom shelf, the bottom shelf classes, right? Bard is not a bottom shelf class. It is a middle child class, right? And it is really, it's really important because it's truly, truly unique. The fact that they sing and they perform, it's one of the most unusual aspects of Dungeons and Dragons. Very few people can play them well. You have to really be a really unselfish player to play a bard, in my opinion. All right, so I love bards. I think they're in the middle tier, right? They certainly aren't top shelf, that's for sure, right? But they definitely make it to the middle tier. All right, next, Smite. Paladins rock. They are just so cool in that, it's pretty incredible, right? You're like, who plays paladins, right? People are like, my character is a channel for violence from the gods, right? The gods pour down their blessing upon me, and I use it to lay people out, right? Like, I have been blessed from on high, and I use it for violence, right? Like, paladins are incredibly unique, right? They're very, very weird class. All right. So a bear. All right. Next is druid. Come on, like, this is a no-brainer. This is a class that can transform into any beast in the PHP. You might have to wait a little while before you can get to some of the cooler ones, but you're going to get there, right? And it's pretty amazing. So basically, druids are incredibly powerful in what they can do. And you could do so many things with them, right? So you could be a small bird and spy on a group in a tavern. You could transform into a bear and just knock somebody down. You could be a turtle and swim around. You can fly. Like, it's incredible. Like, there's just, a wolf. You could take on the form of a wolf. Druids are awesome. They're really, really cool class, right? So, and then last, Aragorn. Rangers. They are dope, right? So the reality is, they split it up. Like, in 1E, they split it up. They're like, wilderness survival, dungeon survival, and really it is like essentially it's a split in the game, right? So you have these dungeons, they're all over, but the reality is, if you think about it carefully, forests essentially serve as green dungeons, right? And the reality is, believe it or not, especially nowadays, I actually think dungeons are being used less and less and less. I almost never use them, right? And really, when you think about dungeons, you're thinking about the 80s, 90s, that, and I don't, beyond that, the 2000s, I think most games are happening in very exotic locations, and very few of them are in, 10 by 10 dungeon walls, right? And that means rangers are crazy important, because essentially you have green dungeons above the ground, and that's where rangers rock, right? So that's my pick for the middle children of the Dungeons and Dragons class group, is Druid, Paladin, Ranger, and Bard. And Bard. That's my pick. What about you? What do you think are the middle? What do you think is the middle list? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.